Let's take a journey through the pages of inexplicable world history into a portal of mysteries that cannot be fully. To solve even the sharpest scientific minds in this video, we will look at 20 of the most mysterious photographs and discoveries from around the world that will allow us to take a look at inexplicable events and objects from our past present. Viewing stone balls hidden deep in the tropical forests of Costa Rica, at least 300 of which have been preserved at the mouth of the Diquas River for several centuries, have intrigued archaeologists and researchers. These ideal spherical stones with a diameter from several centimeters to more than 2 meters amaze the imagination and generate countless theories about their origin and purpose. Still remain a mystery the exact way to create these stone balls. They are made with such care that they puzzle specialists who are trying to understand how ancient civilizations achieved such symmetry of perfection that the stones themselves consist of granodiorite, a very hard rock that further enhances the impression of their origin by the no less mysterious purpose of these mysterious spheres. In some versions they were used for astronomical and religious purposes, in others they served as navigational or geographical landmarks. Some even suggest that they may be traces of a disappeared ancient civilization or have extraterrestrial origin. The spheres have cultural and historical significance for the indigenous population of Costa Rica. They included in the UNESCO World Heritage List. Attempts to understand their origin and significance continue, and to this day, however, many questions still remain unanswered. The stone balls of Costa Rica are evidence ingenuity and creativity of ancient civilizations. They also serve as a reminder that in the world there are still countless miracles that have yet to be discovered and explained, and that hold secrets capable of shedding light on the rich and varied history of our planet. A photograph was taken in 1911. Which in the future caused a lot of controversy and speculation. It depicts a huge airship as if hovering above the city of Huntington, West Virginia. However, what is truly puzzling is the fact that the design the airship looks very advanced for that era, and its existence is not confirmed by any documents except of this photo. The airship from the photo has a streamlined shape with several propellers and, apparently, is capable of transporting a significant number of passengers, which is very different from primitive airships and hot air balloons. Capacity, widespread at the beginning of the 20th century. In addition, it was several years ahead of the creation of the first Zeppelin-type airship. There are many theories trying to explain this photo. Someone believes that it is a high-tech invention by an unknown talented inventor who was clearly ahead of his time. Others, it is assumed that this is a hoax or early Photoshop, but there are no signs of falsification in the photo. Discovered exactly like the identity of the photographer and his motives remain unknown despite all the speculation. A photograph of a 1911 airship remains a historical find that defies easy comprehension. Explanation: it remains a tantalizing hint of a mystery yet to be solved and a fascinating excursion into history. Development of aircraft. In 2010, an intriguing photograph from 1941 was discovered in which the opening of the Gold Bridge, British Columbia Bridge, was captured. The majority of the public who came to the event was such as could be imagined at that time. However, one person especially stands out among the crowd. Dubbed the time-traveling hipster on men's modern clothing logo print t-shirt, a sweatshirt or sweater, sunglasses, all of this clearly does not correspond to the atmosphere of 1941. Besides, it looks like that he is holding a modern camera in his hands, which adds even more mystery, experts suggest. Reasonable versions, for example sunglasses, are not entirely exclusive to that era. The logo on a man's shirt can be the sweater of the Montreal Maroons hockey team that existed in the 1940s. As for the camera, this can be a folding pocket Kodak model which, although they were rare, already existed at that time. However, despite for all these explanations, none of them could completely dispel the terrible impression of inappropriateness that this figure produces. Controversy about the identity and origins of this man, causing heated debate in both scientific circles and on the internet, even giving rise to theories about time travel. The time-traveling hipster remains a mystery, a bizarre anomaly in a historical photograph. Who he is, a time traveler extraordinary. Identity, or is it just an optical illusion? Often topics in the field of the inexplicable. Is the presence on historical works of art and on chronic objects? A striking example is a painting from the 15th century. Madonna with Saint Giovannina by the Italian artist Dominic Herlandi. The mystery lies not in the main plot of the painting, but in an unusual element in its background. On the canvas we see the Virgin Mary with the baby John the Baptist. A strange luminous object in the sky is visible at her left shoulder, which a man and his dog are looking at. The man seems to be closing his eyes, which perhaps indicates the brightness of the object. Its shape and glow give rise to some observers to assume that it is an unidentified flying object and is being considered as a possible historical evidence of the existence of extraterrestrial life. In addition, rays of light emanate from the object, which enhances its extraterrestrial nature. Experts claim that the object represents a divine incarnation, possibly an angel or the Holy Spirit, a common motif in religious art of the era, while others suggest that it is maybe the Star of Bethlehem or a miraculous sign in the sky. Despite these versions, the exact meaning and significance the strange object in the painting remains unknown. Madonna with the Saint Giovannina is a vivid example of the mysteries and disputes associated with the interpretation of historical works of art, especially if they depict objects that are much ahead of its time. Map, the Piri-Reis map, named after its creator, the Ottoman admiral, and the Piri-Reis cartographer has puzzled both historians and scientists since its discovery, compiled in 1513. The map is a diagram of the world in the center of which is the Atlantic coast of Europe and North Africa, ocean, and also parts of North and South America and Antarctica. The mystery lies in the fact that it is surprisingly accurate. Regional America is depicted, especially the coast of South America. We recall that in 1513 European knowledge about the New World were just emerging. However, on the map geographical objects are depicted with such a degree of detail that was impossible for that time. The image of the coast of Antarctica free of ice causes even more bewilderment. It is believed that the last time Antarctica looked like this was about 34 million years ago, long before the advent of humankind. Civilization. How could a break gain access to such information? It turns out that the map was drawn up based on various sources, some of which, according to the records of the Piri-Reis, were ancient and no longer exist. Could they? These are maps of a bygone civilization that had advanced cartographic knowledge. Experts believe that the image of Antarctica is based on guesswork, erroneous interpretations, or incorrectly drawn parts of the South. In America, some also argue that the map rather reflects the idea of sailors of that time about what it looks like. World. What is his reliable picture? Regardless of the explanations, the map of the Reis still causes bewilderment of researchers, and its curious inconsistency and amazing accuracy serve testament to the complexity of history and the depth of knowledge of our ancestors. Is one of the most astounding photographs in modern history. Was made during a regular family walk in 1964 by Jim Templeton. Firefighter Scarleva photographed his daughter in a field near Solo, Wyford, when the photograph was developed in the background. An unexpected figure appeared in the plan, resembling an astronaut. Apparently it was a tall man in white clothes with a slim or visor standing with his back to the camera. Templeton claims that at the time of filming there was no one nearby. The film was even examined by Kodak photographers and the police, who found no signs of falsification. Experts suggested that in fact the astronaut was Templeton's wife, who accidentally got into the frame with her blue. The dress is overexposed and appears white in the photo. The helmet could be her hair, and the supposed visor is a shadow from the hair on face. Despite a well-founded explanation, the photograph continues to excite the imagination. It has become the subject of numerous television shows and documentaries speculating about alien travelers, time and interdimensional beings. The mystery of the cosmonaut and the Solo effect remains an iconic fragment. Inexplicable history. Music is sometimes the most interesting riddles are found in quite ordinary circumstances. This happened with a photograph from the 1930s that depicted vacationers on coast of British Columbia in Canada. Among the beach attire typical of that era, one person stands out and gives rise to a mystery about time travel. This man is dressed in modern clothes, a t-shirt with shorts with a graphic design, and his hair is styled so they are more likely to correspond to the end of the 20th and beginning of the 21st century than to the 1930s. In connection with this, theories have emerged that this person is a time traveler. However, experts suggest a more prosaic explanation is that his modern t-shirt is a sweater with rolled-up sleeves and shorts are just rolled-up trousers, which is quite plausible for a hot beach day. A modern hairstyle could also appear due to the wind or wet hair. However, the photograph still gives rise to controversy and speculation despite logical explanations. This time traveler retains an aura of mystery no matter. Is he a real time traveler? In fact, his portrayal continues to question our understanding the history of music. The twin manuscript, so named in honor to the Polish bookseller Wilfred Nitsch, who acquired the manuscript in 1912. This mystery is shrouded. The mystery of this 15th century work, filled with mysterious illustrations and text in an unknown language, he baffled the most brilliant minds of the world. In the manuscript presents amazing images of samples of the plant world, astronomical charts and pharmaceuticals. Many plant species cannot be identified. They are not have similarities with any of the species known on Earth. No less perplexing are astronomical maps in which stars, the constellation of the planetary system, does not coincide with any of those recognized by modern astronomers over the past. Over the years, several theories have been proposed, from the pharmacopoeia of an alchemical text to a work of speculative fiction. Despite numerous attempts to decipher the manuscript, its meaning lies in the original illustrations. Your manuscript remains a mystery, one of the most mysterious artifacts in history. Fascinating images and the mysterious text lures us into a world full of intrigue, secrets, and the unknown of the Nazca Desert Line, large geoglyphs. Created by the ancient Nazca culture in Peru, cause endless admiration and curiosity. The intrigue intensifies if look at them from the air. From here you can see many designs including animals, plants, and geometric figures carved on the surface of the desert. Scientists cannot understand how and why a civilization existed around 2000 years ago. She created such grandiose works of art that can only be fully appreciated from above. And from above it would seem impossible for the inhabitants of Nazca. Some theories point to religious or astronomical purpose of the Nazca lines. According to them, they served as a giant observatory or a map of the underground sources of water. Others suggest that the lines were part of complex rituals to call for water. However, these theories are not explain fully the scale and accuracy of the lines, as well as the reasons for choosing specific symbols. In addition, they do not explain how the Nazca culture managed to maintain the perspective necessary to create such accurate images on such a grandiose scale. The interpretation of the Nazca line, from extraterrestrial landing strips to giant astronomical ones. Calendars are as varied as the designs themselves, but the reality is that these incredible geoglyphs are the best. Only visible from a vantage point that we could not reach, remains an unsolved mystery of human history. The world of incomprehensible stories is not limited to land. The sea is also fraught with many mysteries. One of them is the sea monster of Hook Island, captured in a photograph taken in 1964 by the Frenchman Raber Lesseric. A family vacationing in Australia. The photograph shows a huge creature similar to a tadpole, estimated to be 20 to 25 meters, hiding in the shallow waters of Stonehaven Bay, Hook Island. A huge dark shadow can be seen under the water in the picture. A figure with a clearly visible head and eyes, a sinuous body. Many assumed that it could be a preserved prehistoric marine reptile similar to a plesiosaur or a giant unknown species of eel or stingray. However, others have suggested that it may have been an elaborate hoax, possibly a plastic sheet was weighted and designed to look like a sea monster. Despite persistent skepticism, photograph has captured the public's imagination for decades. This Hook Island sea monster remains an inexplicable maritime mystery and a fascinating episode in the history of cryptozoology. Music photographs provide a glimpse into the past, but sometimes their authenticity can lead historians are in a whirlpool of controversy. As an example, let's take a photograph purchased in 2010 for $2 in a store. Memorabilia purportedly depicting notorious criminal Billy Keith in a photograph. Tin-type images of Billy the Whale and his gang of regulators playing croquet at the photograph. Genuine, this is the second confirmed image of Kid and the value could soar to $1 million. However, confirming its authenticity turned out to be difficult, although the facial recognition program allows. Talk about the coincidence of the Bella Kid in the famous photograph and the figure in the photo from the rocket, other aspects raise. Some historians have questioned the verisimilitude of this scene, citing the apparent high profile. The nature of the game of croquet contrasting with the harsh lifestyle of the criminal despite the contradictions photograph aroused considerable interest. It was the subject of a National Geo documentary and caused a great stir among forensic historians and lovers of the Old West, whether it be a priceless historical artifact or photograph. Nameless people of the 19th century, the alleged photograph of Bella Kid demonstrates what a simple image can cause. A photograph taken in the 1920s before the advent of digital technology caused a storm of questions and speculation. Shock in society because it was depicted. Apparently, the levitating man in the picture was captured by Colin Evans, a medium with a parachuelist who conducted seances in the dark, only occasionally illuminating the scene with a camera with flash. In the photo, Evans is hanging in the air, surrounded by spectators who look at him in surprise. Critics claim that the photo is staged, possibly using hidden supports or cables. Fans opposite believe the photo. Colin Evans's levitation serves as a historical reminder as evidence of Evans' spiritual powers. About a person's fascination with the supernatural and the lengths to which he can go to prove such phenomena. Regardless of the opinion and authenticity of the photo, it remains an interesting element of an inexplicable story. Music in archaeology, they often find objects that defy logic. Explanation and raise a huge number of questions. Figurines include lizards of the Ubaid culture were discovered on the territory of the ancient settlement of Al-Ubaid in Iraq, which existed even before Sumerian civilization. These terracotta figurines dating back to 4,000–5,000 years BC have human-like shape but at the same time have pronounced reptilian features with an elongated head. With almond-shaped eyes and scaly skin, some figurines depict lizard people going about their daily lives. Activities such as nursing babies or holding staffs, these figurines serve as a powerful reminder of mysterious facets of our past. They continue to challenge our understanding of ancient cultures, making us think about the beliefs, rituals and artistic expression of our distant ancestors. Music in the arid grasslands of the Namib Desert in Namibia, scientists and tourists admire. An unusual natural phenomenon known as fairy circles, they are rounded areas of barren land, surrounded by short grass and forming a honeycomb-like pattern visible from above. The diameter of these circles varies from several meters to several tens of meters, and they are found over vast areas throughout Namibia. Local myths attribute these circles to the intervention of the gods or their traces, but scientific versions explain their appearance. Various reasons from termites and plant competition to gas leaks and even radioactivity. Despite all these theories, the final cause of their appearance has not been established. Fairy tale circles in Namibia still cause scientific disputes and curiosity of ordinary people, illustrating the charming secrets that nature often hides from outsiders. The Eye of the Dyatlov Pass incident, one of the most mysterious events in modern history. In 1959, 9 experienced Russian tourists died in extremely mysterious and chilling circumstances in the Ural Mountains. The mystery of this incident is added to by photographs found on the cameras of the hike participants. One of them shows a blurry figure near the forest line, which is often called Yeti photos. Another disturbing photo taken on the last night of the expedition captured a mysterious light or orb on against the backdrop of a dark sky. Although the incident itself remains largely unexplained, the eerie photographs give it a special visibility. Striking theory of secret military experiments, attack of the indigenous population, or supernatural entities. Music is perhaps the most famous and discussed. Evidence of the existence of cryptids is the film by Patterson Gimlin, a short film in which Bigfoot was allegedly captured in reality on film shot in 1967 in Northern California by Roger Patterson and Bean Gimlin depict a large hairy bipedal creature walking along a clearing despite numerous analyses of the film's authenticity remain the subject of heated debate. Critics suggest that it may be a man in a suit, and adherents of the Bigfoot theory claim that the movement and anatomy of the creature are more similar to movement and anatomy of an unknown primate than a human, regardless of whether it is a hoax or a grandiose one. The discovery of Patterson Gimlin's film continues to fascinate and spark discussions about the existence of elusive creatures that may be hiding in unexplored corners of our world music. In the realm of inexplicable phenomena, there are few creatures as strange as the night crawlers from Fresno. For the first time, the creatures appeared on surveillance video from the city of Frezone, California in the late 2000s on. The video footage shows a pair of short white legs moving across the lawn, which, as it turned out, have no body. No hands later, a similar creature was captured on video in Yosemite National Park, adding to the intrigue. The peculiar gait and shape of the creatures defy traditional explanations. A variety of versions are put forward, from processing video materials to extraterrestrial life forms of folklore of local residents or even cryptid organisms. Despite skepticism and lack of additional evidence, footage of bland creatures continues to attract the attention of amateurs. Cryptids and mysteries, leaving us wondering what strange encounters may await us beyond the ordinary. Perception of music in 1889, workers drilling water. Well, in Nampa, Idaho, a tiny clay figurine was discovered at a depth of about 90 meters. This artifact, dubbed the Nampa figurine, it is a female figure and appears to have been made by human scientists. Puzzling is the depth at which it was found, which corresponds to geological layers about 2 million years old, that is, long before the appearance of man in this region. Some consider the figurine to be evidence of the existence of advanced ancient civilizations. However, representatives of modern science often consider it as a case of an anomaly that arose as a result of drilling or as a later artifact that fell into old rocks as a result of natural processes. The Nampa figurine remains an intriguing mystery in archaeological circles. The Antikythera mechanism found on a sunken ship off the Greek island of Antikythera in 1901 is called the world's first analog computer. An ancient Greek device dating from around the 1st or 2nd century BC, it has a series of complex gears and the mystery of the inscriptions is that this mechanism demonstrates a deep understanding of astronomy. The device could predict celestial events such as eclipses and tracks the movement of celestial bodies. It indicates the level technological development which is believed to have been beyond the capabilities of ancient Greek society. Despite significant research into the full range of functions of the mechanism and its underlying knowledge base remains researched only partly, the Antikythera mechanism still highlights gaps in our understanding of ancient civilizations and their technological mastery. Music shrouded in mystery and speculation. An incident on Eileanmore Lighthouse 1900 is a mysterious episode in the history of navigation at Eileanmore Lighthouse. Located on the largest of the Flannan Islands off the west coast of Scotland, 3 experienced keepers worked in December 1900. All 3 disappeared without a trace, leaving behind an empty lighthouse full of questions for which there were no answers. The last photograph taken at the lighthouse before the disappearance of the keepers showed one of them, Thomas Marshall, with a worried expression on his face, and in the background of the picture storm was visible considering that he was found at the lighthouse. The logbook indicated harsh weather conditions. The photograph was perceived as chilling, a harbinger of disaster. Although it cannot provide conclusive evidence or answers, it adds intrigue to the mystery, conveying the ominous mood that reigned at the lighthouse before the disappearance of the keepers. Thus a snapshot remains powerful. And that's all I have. If you like this video, don't forget to rate it, subscribe to my channel and click on